Kat has referenced, this is Lynn. Kat has referenced in the past that the Father has a magnificent boardroom and he loves to plan. At the time of creation, when the Word, Jesus, spoke and it was so, had everything been meticulously planned before being spoken? Or when creation was spoken, did their all knowing power just make it be down to the minuscule degree? So she's trying to get a handle on what happened after they said, did they speak and it was all done, or did they go around creating things? I guess that's my interpretation of that.
That could have different answers to the question, because I don't know, because I'm a detail person. I don't know if they're talking about at the time of the original creation of the physical realm, or are they talking of time between that time, or are they talking about right now? That's a loaded question to
Well,
me.
and I think she's saying is she's talking about what most Christians are taught when in the beginning. So we're talking about after the fall and after that junk, then God saw the earth without form and void, and then he says, "Let there be light." And I think that what she's saying is at that point when he said, "Let there be light," and then "Let there be all these things," did they just pop up because they had been meticulously planned and one word made all these details suddenly disappear? I think that's what she's asking. But go ahead, however you feel to answer that.
They actually created by not just speaking once. Okay, they would go where there was nothing, and the Word, who was with God and in God, the Father would say what he wanted, and the Word, which is why his name was the Word, would step out and create the words. He would create those words. That's what he did. He didn't just make anything anywhere. Whatever the Father said, he would step out of him. Of course, they lived separately. I mean, they didn't have to stay in that. But when they were going to create, they were mostly together when they did that. I'm not saying that the Word himself couldn't speak and make things, but God laid out a lot of plans. He laid out plans, but he didn't make every person choose what they wanted or not wanted. That was up to man. In other words, this is God's plan. If you agree to go with this plan, then a lot of those things that he saw or thought of you would happen. Sometimes you yourself will delay things by the words you speak yourself or against yourself. But as far as creation, the life has always existed. Okay, the Father has always existed. The Word has always existed. Holy Spirit has always existed. The four living creatures have always, Melchizedek, they weren't just like popped up somewhere. They were always with them. There was more than just them, but who is God? Who's the Godhead? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Back then it was Father, Word, and Holy Spirit. But between them, everything was made that was made. And it was done by speaking. First, God would think, what do I want? What do I want to do here? And then he would speak it, and the Word stepped out and made exactly what he had said. That's how they operated. They went everywhere. They went in time, out of time. They went where they were at that moment. And wherever they went and spoke, that did happen. That's when it happened. And that's how they created. Their soul lined up with the words and the desire they had. Their actions lined up with those words. And by the way, you're never going to get to create anything or invent anything if you don't operate the same way. I was in the mountains in North Carolina, and the Father said, I'm going to show you how we created. So it's really wonderful that they even brought that question up.
Wow.
He said, when you begin to create, and we will one day, not people, but we will be creators, because we're the sons and daughters of the creators. And so our soul will have to line up. If we have a thought of something, and we cry from our soul, this is what you desire, but your actions never line up by what you're saying. Like, I want to move on a new place, but you never do anything to show that that's what you really want. You ignore it. You said it, but you do nothing about it. It won't become anything.
That's so important. That's really good.
You build yourself up in most holy faith by praying in tongues, but you also have to begin to believe that what you declare will come to pass. And then your actions line up, like you start making plans for something that you yourself desire to do or desire to have, that's in line with God not caring if you have it. If you never do anything about it, then you're not going to have it. Yeah. So if the Father sincerely wanted something, it actually says in the Bible, he would speak and it would be created. If he liked it, it remained. If he didn't like what he saw when it was created, then it didn't remain. So just so you all know, it's not like he practiced, but he would start saying that until he got what he wanted to look exactly like what he said, and then it remained. So
Interesting.
you
Oh,
have to
that's
see,
good.
even they had a way they did things, but they didn't just stand somewhere and say one word and it all happened. No, they went everywhere together and created all these different things. But the spirit realm has always existed. We're in the temporary realm. We're in the physical realm so we can have these physical bodies. But the eternal realm is the spirit realm. And that's the unseen realm to you. If you died, you see all of it. Okay. If God allows you now, you can see the spirit realm. But that is the actual main realm that exists, is the spirit realm. And in that realm, where nothing is seen by man, everything he made was in the unseen realm and then put in the seen realm. And you have to understand, you're a triune being. They're triune beings. But you have to begin to line up with the way God speaks and says things. If you can't see him for who he is, you will never know who you are. So yes, they went all over the place, in a place where there is no time, and began to create and make things and set things in place.